Hello team video. Today we're going to take a look at the Holiday Cap Ultra League Edition. It's going to be basically the same meta in terms of types that are allowed compared to the Great League Edition, nearly the same Pokemon available as well. Let's go right into the meta analysis. Also leave a like on the video if you'll enjoy the content, as we're going to take a look at the meta here real quick. We're going to see Auroras in the lead again here. First one on PvP going to be the best Pokemon, and this time around I think it's definitely going to be better than the last time around. Even though it was at rank 1 there, it was viable, you can use it, but it wasn't like the most used Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that Aurora is going to have a little bit more of a play now. We see Giratina here. Giratina is always one of the best Pokemon for the Ultra League, and if it's available like here, it's going to definitely dominate the meta. You want Dragon Breath here instead of the Shadow Claw, because Dragon Breath allows you to also beat your counters like Obstagoon pretty easily. Ancient Power for coverage against Ice-type Pokemon, pretty simple. Rush Ice, I don't feel like it's going to be the best Pokemon. You can use it, but it's not the craziest. Obstagoon going to be one of the best and most used Pokemon as well. Kyurem, a little bit overrated because of the new move Glaciate, but going to be interesting as well. Next one, Double, going to be insanely good if you have it. I have one luckily, but like, yeah, if you don't have it, it's going to be a little bit tricky again. I think this Pokemon going to be amazing, but I think most people don't have one yet. Charizard going to have some options again. Sandslash, if you saw my video about the Great League, was already very strong there, but there are some other Pokemon that I really think going to work well and going to be cheap. For example, Verzing going to be very good, as it's going to be able to counter those ice types and also provide some coverage against, for example, Obstagoon. Walrein going to be still very strong. We have some teams with this coming up as well. We're going to have the Hisuian version of the Everluck as well in a team, which is going to be fun. Snorlax still going to be a good save swap. Talonflame still going to be strong in this meta as well. Pokemon that you've seen before as well. But in general, a lot of stuff that's kind of similar to before. One thing that I kind of want to point out, there's only really one Charmer that's viable, and I think it's going to be a very strong one in this meta. So take a look. If you have a good Ninetales, definitely build one if you can. Let's go for the first team. The first team here, we're going to have Giratina in the lead. We're going to have the Sasop of Double. If you don't have Double, you can still use something like Snorlax, I would guess, but Double is definitely way better than Snorlax. And then we have the Obstagoon in the back, basically trying to, it's basically the same concept that we had before already in the cup before, the Great League version of this cup, where we had a Ghost type in the lead and we had two normal types in the back that both have fighting type fast moves. It just works out so well. Giratina, again, if you didn't see that before, you should run the Dragon Breath, because it's going to help you against something like other opponents' Obstagoons, which is going to be definitely very common. You actually can win against them in the lead, which is kind of wild, and otherwise, still, the Double is most likely one of the best, if not the best Pokemon for this meta. But if you don't have the XL version, maybe Snorlax might be a cheap pick, especially if you have the Shadow version. Superpower can basically deal as well a lot of damage in terms of the fighting type damage. I think Shadow version of Snorlax is definitely better than the normal one here as well, because you kind of want to get some damage against like those ghost types like the Giratina, and you mainly do this with your fast move, which helps out then a little bit more. The next team going to have Verizon in the lead here, which going to counter basically Obstagoon, which I guess you're going to see a lot of times, and then you're going to need some answers for the Giratina in the back, because Giratina is your hottest answer. So we have here two answers in the back, either the Sasop of Walrein or the Sasop of the Snorlax. I think Walrein is, it really depends on what you face. If you face a lot of Obstagoon in the back, I would run the Snorlax as a Sasop, because you have access to Superpower. If you face, I don't know, basically everything else, the Walrein seems to be a little bit better of a choice here. And then in the back, we're going to have Auroras or the newly released Hisuian Everluck. Both of them are pretty decent. Both of them have like similar roles. If you don't have a good Auroras, then you can also use like one of the Everluck that you rated recently. Whatever you really want to do here definitely should work out pretty well. It's a similar team that I also showcased before on my channel for the Great League edition of it, but yeah, this still should work pretty well. I want to try to give Kyurem another try here with Glaciate, because it's got ranked at number 5 for all the Pokemon for this cup, so it should be pretty decent. We're going to have the Giratina as a Sasop. I'm not too sure about the lead yet. The lead is supposed to counter something like fighting type users, like something like the Verizon, even though now you can actually deal with it with the Giratina, but mainly also something for the Obstagoon. So that was like the main intention, but now I might think that I would try something different. Maybe something like also the Verizon again here, because you're going to need something that can deal with the Auroras. Auroras can be a little bit of an issue for this team. Wonder how many people are going to run Auroras, but for this team it might be a little bit tricky. Sasop here of Giratina should be pretty decent in this cup in general. I think there's not a lot of Pokemon that really wants to come in here, unless their name is Alolan Ninetales. but otherwise this team should look pretty fine, and Kyurem might be funny to take a look at. Should I take a look at Kyurem? Let me know in the comment section. Might be a cool Pokemon to test out again. I actually have a good one that I could build as well. The fourth team going to be pretty fun as well. We're going to have the Obstagoon in the lead, and we're going to have 2 Firebirds in the back here with the Talonflame, and also the newly buffed version of Charizard should be pretty fine. Main reason for this is you're going to have like an answer for Auroras, for example, in the lead here, which is pretty important, I guess. We're going to have a Sasop here that can definitely bait it out, but also still you have the Pokemon in the back that does basically the same as the Sasop, which is pretty cool here. Charizard as a Sasop in general also going to function as an half answer for like Giratina, as you're going to have access to Wing Attack plus a Dragon Claw, which is going to be pretty nice, as well as you're going to have access to Night Slash in your lead here. Actually, I wonder what the other fast move is for Obstagoon. Don't really know that. Maybe it learns Bite? No, it learns Lick definitely. Would be also kind of funny to take a look at Lick Obstagoon for this matter, because of all the Giratina going to be available, like Giratina going to be everywhere, but otherwise this team should work out pretty well. Also for potential water types, where not really a lot of them are available, you can bait them out with your Charizard. You're still going to damage with Wing Attack plus Dragon Claw, and you don't have to face them with your Talonflame. The next team is kinda built around the Pokemon that we have in the back here with the Galvantula. This thing looks like a very good closer in this meta right now. The only issue for it is if it faces the Giratina, which is going to be pretty common here, it's going to have some kind of issues with it because you cannot really hit this Pokemon at all. I don't think there's actually a single move that this thing can learn that would be neutral against Giratina, so kind of tricky. So we're going to have a lead that really hard walls Giratina with the Auroras. You can use other ice types there as well if you don't have an Auroras. You could also play something like, for example, I guess a Lapras or a Walrein should work out pretty fine. As a Sasop here, we're going to have the Charizard or the Trevenant. Maybe Trevenant might be a little bit better as well, because you have access to Seed Bomb, which might be better against opponents' Auroras, which are not too bad for the Galvantula either, but can be a little bit annoying if you have like low shield scenarios where they can Meteor Beam you. But otherwise, this team should definitely still work out and should be pretty fine. Let's go into the final one. The final team going to be around the Alolan Ninetales, which I think going to be one of the best Pokemon to counter the meta that we're going to face, as it's going to be able to destroy those fighting type Pokemon or like dark type Pokemon like the Obstagoon, and still also destroys the Giratina, which runs Dragon Breath here. So fairy type Pokemon are not really that common because there are not a lot of them available. But this Pokemon itself going to be very strong against all this Giratina. So you're going to have a Sasop here of the Snorlax or also the Dubwool again. That's going to allow you to destroy also Giratinas that want to come in, and you're going to have your own Giratina in the back. So there's basically nowhere to go for a Giratina of your opponents. And I think actually you could also consider, by the way, running Earthquake on your Snorlax, but I think for Obstagoon Superpower might be a little bit better. Otherwise, this still should be a very good team. If you are interested in the Master League in general, let me know in the comment section, please. What are you playing? Are you playing Master League? Are you playing the Ultra League version of the Holiday Cup? If you're interested in the Master League, I think I'm going to link the video for my last team review for the Master League on the end card here, because I don't really feel like I need to do a new video about the Master League because it's basically the same still. Let me know in the comment section if I still should do another video for the Master League as well, but we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and I hope you see you in the next one. Bye.